and I don't know you can see me, but I mean, there we go. You can see my reflection. Hands. Anyways, good morning. I changed my channel profile picture. I'm sure you guys have noticed if you have followed. It's been so long since I've used this profile picture. It's so strange to go back to it. So I was browsing for a new picture and then I found this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is cool. So why not just return to the old? And it is the cutest profile picture I've ever had. So, hey, well, I would say one of the cutest profile pictures. I've had some really cute profile pictures, but of course, I'm just gonna stick with this one. Anyways, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I recorded a video for my main channel. Um, I was eating chocolates, and when I was recording, my camera was so buggy and glitchy. I hope the footage is just really well. Yesterday when I recorded another chocolate video for the main channel, what happened was when I was recording everything was so glitchy, but when I played some of the video back, it was perfectly fine in some way. Okay, I wouldn't say perfectly fine, super perfect, but you know. Anyways, we have to talk about items because oh my goodness, what has happened to items? You know, dude changed so much. The dude, a lot of people will say fell off in a way. I don't know. I feel like the dude has been kind of falling off for a while. So I'm just going to prop this up right now with some books because I want you guys to get a better view. So I'm gonna put this over here. What am I doing exactly? Oh my goodness, this is so horrible. Look, I'm just gonna this. There you go. Hope you guys don't see my actual reflection. Yes, my hair is growing back, you know. I need to get this one shaving tool that actually pulls out all of the air without really damaging my skin. Using regular razor blades is just so cringe. Anyways, where is it? Anyways, there's this cringe clip of iDubbbz, and it's a small clip from this from here we go. I'm not gonna play the song. Oh my gosh, you know, you know, this dude has really shifted. It's a sad shift. It's disappointing to see someone like that go from saying the most edgiest stuff to now becoming, I don't know, a bread tuber. He really wants to be a bread tuber. If you watch his recent videos, you can tell is swaying more towards being a bread tuber. It's one of those evolutions you don't really expect. Think someone's going to remain that way forever. There are plenty of people who kind of Trolls remorse is when a lot of these people who used to say a lot of edgy stuff are now coming out and acting as if you say any of the edgy stuff, they get really angry at you and acting as if you're just a bad person for saying those things. But they when they were younger used to also do some edgy stuff. It's one of those moments where they pull up the ladder. They don't want you to have fun. They don't want you to enjoy being edgy. And I mentioned this in one of my other live streams. This is a common thing happening, and it sucks to see this. It really sucks to see this, guys. Now, I wasn't a major iDubbbz fan, but I remember when I was small, I would time to time check his videos, and I would watch his content, and for me, it wasn't clicking as much. But I would read the comments, and so many people were perfectly fine with whatever he was doing, all the gross stuff, saying a bunch of naughty words. Everyone was fine with that. But I guess, I guess now everyone acts as if it was the first time ever when it wasn't. So basically, he ends up with a bunch of bread tubers. I'm sure some of you guys know who this chick is. I think once upon a time last year, she wanted, I think, Asmongold to be killed, or someone to be killed. Like, where are these guys coming from? Every year you see a new bread tuber. Oh my gosh, you're lucky you're not listening to the sound. You're lucky. You're really lucky. I don't even know who this guy is. Oh my goodness. So the content cop was an H3H3, and it had to do obviously because of the beef between H3 and Hassan Piker, and then you have this guy chiming in like Hassan's lapdog. And look at this. He'll always calls himself someone who is so full of empathy, right? But this is the way he behaves. This is it. This is it. It's it's something that I've seen a lot lately. A lot of people claim to have empathy, but then they'll say the nastiest shit possible, proving that they're honest about their hate. And obviously, it seems that this dude is really hateful. He fell into this rabbit hole, this political rabbit hole. He's become radicalized. Like, look at this, the loser dance, the Fortnite dance. Like, what is this exactly? iDubbbz went from hair cake, from cake made out of uh, human spit and toenails, and he turns into this. I remember watching that hair cake video. Going back, it's one of the most edgiest content you can find on the internet. Holy crap, this dude had so much empathy. I guess he now has apathy for anyone, just anyone, it seems, who isn't in his little woke circle. Oh my gosh. Apparently his content cop video got like 300K dislikes. Wow. I mean, I'm sure his other content cops may have had extra dislikes depending on who he went after, but it mostly had a lot of likes. He's done. You have Pegasus. Has chosen another victim to make videos about content new. Oh my gosh. You know, everyone now wants to be content cop. I hope you guys understand that how impactful iDubbbz was compared to any other commentary channel besides Leafy. He was the most impactful, in my opinion. And you can really see how everyone tries to emulate these kind of style in a way, or they use the play on content cop because it's so popular. Content cop was one of the best things on the internet, and now it's like meh. What even is this exactly? Sad, really sad. So this is an archive. His first content cop was on Jinx, then he had on amateur food reviews, then toy reviews, then Fine Bros. If you guys don't remember the Fine Bros, these guys used to make the teens react, adults react, children react to videos. I'm sure you've seen some of their viral videos in the past. They wanted to. This is an old video. Oh, look at this. Look at the quality of it. This was actually really funny. Anyways, what happened was the Fine Bros tried to copyright the word react, or I think like put a trademark on it so no one else could do it or something like that. And not just iDubbbz, but so many other people made videos on this entire horrible move. You know, Keemstar. Whoa, Keemstar was a big one too. Keemstar was pretty big back in the day, and Keemstar survived his content cop because Keemstar is Keemstar. The dude has done so much that's it's kind of like Trump, right? You can't get rid of him. You know, you can try to expose, but nothing really happens. But wow, toy channels, how to prank it up, and how to prank it up. I actually like how to prank it up, and I feel like what, maybe this one was a bit unnecessary, but um, regardless, there was also the Leafy one. I don't know where the Leafy one is. Where is it? The Leafy one was really big. I remember it had like 30 something million or 50 something million. It was huge, guys. Leafy was one of the biggest commentary channels back in the day, and I remember watching him when I was small. I remember I would be seated over there. My bed used to be over there. I used to have my pillow propped against the wall, and I would just watch so many YouTubers and stuff. Wow, you know? And back then I never understood edgy content. I never understood all this kind of like wacky content. And only when I grew up and when YouTubers started making them, I started to understand edgy content. This is basically who is the most morally superior or something like that these days. I'm sure you guys have noticed when it comes to some drama online, it's mostly about who is the the most offensive out there, like who is more problematic than the other person. That's what's all drama about now, besides a couple people being ratted out as uh peds, you know like besides those type of drama, like everything else is just, oh, this person said something, and oh no, we have to cancel this person. We've played the same song and dance for years. you know it's getting ridiculous. It's toyersome. But I really feel bad for I really feel bad just for iDubbbz. The dude should have the dude should have just left the internet. He should have left the internet like Filthy Frank and focus on something else. But you know what? It was doing pretty well post its final content cop, but then all of a sudden it just wants to become this empathy man, Mr. Empathy. Wow, just wow. Anyways, sorry about this little rant, but honestly, these were really good. Tana Mojo, uh, Rice Gum, Leafy. Oh my gosh, the good old days. Everything is just so immature now. Remember this? I don't think you guys ever saw this, but this was a diss track for Rice Gum, and I remember listening to this. Okay, I remember it was 2017. Um, what else? What else can I remember from it? And here's the thing: everyone was hating on the Paul brothers. So this was like a clickbait. It was a clickbait like Jake Paul content cop, you know. Instead, it was actually about Rice Gum, Asian Jake Paul. And here's the thing, Rice Gum is doing pretty well right now, and I think that's fantastic. The dude is doing really well. Like even though he doesn't make content on his main channel, he's still doing really well, and I'm proud of him for that. Like the dude has evolved. But this was like one of the most epic things out there. I tell you why, because in 2017 there were a lot of diss tracks being made. It was that era where everyone wanted to make diss tracks, and even though some of the drama was fake, some people made legitimate diss tracks like this one. And let me say that when here we go. As soon as PewDiePie went in, I was like, oh my gosh, I was frantic. I was panicking. I was like, oh my goodness. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're just having a content cop for Rice Gum, but then all of a sudden you bring PewDiePie in. I'm just saying, like, I remember it was one of the most awesome experiences seeing PewDiePie just barge in for a collaboration. He doesn't even rap. He just stands and frolics in the background. Yeah, this was so impactful, really impactful. And I remember even trying to make a video back in the day for the content stuff, trying to make my own Rice Gum diss and stuff like that. And I was just kind of following trends and all that stuff. But I'm happy for Rice Gum. I think he has evolved greatly. On the other hand, with iDubbbz, I mean, I feel like I kind of feel like we expected iDubbbz to actually grow, but it didn't. You know. Anyways, whew, this was epic. Like this was so good, so good. And here's the thing: when he dropped that content cop years ago, no one called him out. A lot of those commentary channels who 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 spend their time defending iDubbbz now, a lot of them were around when iDubbbz was making his content cops and his regular videos where he dropped n bombs and said a bunch of racial slurs consistently. Uh, and guess what? None of these people called them out. They were calling out other YouTubers for other things or similar for similar statements, but apparently when it comes to iDubbbz, it was perfectly fine. And now they all go and vouch for him, but it's like you guys had all the time in the world to call out iDubbbz when he was saying this stuff. It wasn't a different time. I know a lot of people say it's a different time. Yes, it was technically, but on the other hand, I want you guys to remember that 2016 era, 2017, 2018, people were being canceled for I don't know if you guys remember this, but people were being canceled for what freaking believing in two genders and stuff like that. So this was a time where college professors were being canceled. So it was still technically a very politically correct time, but there was some kind of dissidence and some pushback. It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate to see the guy fall off in this way. Idubs, what happened to you? What happened to you guys? What happened to you? Come on, man. Apparently, apparently, I feel like if he had a different girlfriend, none of this would have happened. Apparently, there was another girl, and just imagine if he actually found another girlfriend. Oh my goodness. If he didn't pick his current girlfriend back in the day, I guarantee you that I guarantee you that things would have been different. Idubbbz would possibly be hanging out with Nerdrotic. I kid you not. Or he possibly would be hanging out with Sam Hyde. Okay? Yeah, I kid you not. He would be hanging out with a few of the greats out there, the big leagues, the big trolls. Honestly. But I feel like he's now a bargain bin bread tuber. A 2 days away from expiration bread tuber. I have a feeling he's gonna transition. Guys, I think IDOPS is gonna transition, and just think so. I feel like it. I just feel like it's gonna transition. Okay, come on. I think so. Okay, these days a bread tuber who isn't transitioning, that's just crazy. Okay, but yeah, you cannot really beat the old days of the internet. Okay, so yes, I have a lot of Dreamable stuff. I like watching Dreamable memes. It's so funny. I came across Dreamable memes back in 2023, and I remember I was like, who is this guy? Why are they making memes of him? And and then I did more research and I found out who he was, and I was like, oh my goodness. It's just so funny, guys. It's so funny. Okay, so I think we just have to kind of like, what else can we really do? Sometimes my Nintendo Switch gets stuck. Oh, by the way, the Switch is officially available for pre-order in my country. That's right. That's some good news, right? Because guess how much it is? Like 14K. Yeah, 14K in my country. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And the original Switch and even this Switch Lite is more expensive than the original price is intended for in America. Like I had to pay like double just for this, and it was going on special. And even for the full version of the Switch, you have to pay like double just just to have it, you know? It's not as if games are actually slightly priced higher. It's also these things are priced double. And I think even the freaking the Switch 2 now is priced double. Like 14K. I don't even have that money, but I think it'll be worth it because I really want to get an original Switch, a big Switch to play games on. And I think making that transition will be actually pretty cool. What do you guys think? Or maybe I should just buy every version, like a regular Switch, and then get the Switch too. We'll see, really. We'll see. I don't know if all games will work on the Switch too. If you can just like put every single game on, you know. We'll see. Anyways, bye.